You have something special. You have greatness in you. I've got a special guest today, and I'm so excited to interview her. She's made a commitment with her life that she is now helping people to discover the greatness that they have within. She is now refired, not retired, but refired. She's turned the page, starting a new chapter with her life, and decided to make her life a life that is built on a legacy of transformation. Her name is Cynthia Lennox. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, Les. Good afternoon.
I'm so excited talking to you because I want to know, you've been working for how many years in corporate?
26 years at one organization, but in corporate, I would say at least 35 years.
When did you decide that I want to do something else with my life after working so many years?
The thing is, I have been very enthusiastic about my job in corporate America, the work that I did. I really enjoyed it because my whole mindset is to get pleasure out of everything that I do. So when I perceived my light was dimming a little bit, I thought, the energy is waning. So I thought I really need to focus on.
Okay, now tell me, what does it look like? Your light was dimming a little bit. The energy was going down. Talk to us about that. What did that look like?
Well, I had a schedule that was very early in the morning, and it came a point where I really was not excited about getting up that early or going into work early. At work, I did what was required. I saw myself not really going the extra mile, and, which is part of my MO. You do beyond what's required. And I began to focus on that because I know me. That's one thing that I have learned is who I am. And when I did an assessment, I knew I had to reset. So I resetted my whole programming, and I thought, what is it that you would like to do, even if it's for free? And once I discovered that, I sort of went back and did a reset and prepared myself for that. So that's kind of how it happened.
Now, so you have an assessment for yourself. So what did you ask Cynthia? What inventory, what strategic questions that you asked Cynthia so that Cynthia would uncover for you what this next chapter in her life would look like?
Les, I'm always doing an assessment, and that's because by the age of 5, most of us have been conditioned, programmed, or indoctrinated. That happens by default, and that's either by leaders, parents, teachers. It's not a matter of good or bad, right or wrong. That's just the way it happens. And unless you go back, when you're an adult and really inventory yourself to determine, why do I believe what I believe, or why do I like the things that I like? And then you start really regrouping to discover who you are, your likes, your dislikes. Many of us, if it's Thanksgiving, by default, we have turkey. Well, if I want a filet mignon or lobster, I give myself permission to do that because it's what I like. And and this is something that's ongoing. I'm continuously checking myself and resetting. I give myself permission to constantly reset. You have to reset with the times, not only to remain relevant, but to remain true to yourself. And that to me is so important. I have had a good life, Les, and I used to be apologetic about it, but then I realized, look, it's the way that I think. Years ago, I read this book, The Science of the Mind by Ernest Holmes, and that really changed my mind. It led me to believe, to know, actually, not believe, but to know that my greatest asset, my greatest possession is my mind, my thoughts, my thinking ability. And so I really govern that.
When you look at you now, and your goal now is to help people to learn from your experience, the wisdom that you've gained, and learning how to evaluate and look at where they are and ask themselves the question, is this me? and how to reset. But you also have now positioned yourself to help people to get some caring feedback, because there's some things about ourselves that we don't know. Psychologists call those scotomas. Like when we smell somebody's breath, it's kicking like Bruce Lee, but you didn't tell them. and sometimes we have to have people in our lives to tell us some stuff that we just don't know. I was on camera the other day and I just had a salad and I was signaling to people, do I have any salad in my mouth? And they said, no. I said, thank you.
Les, I believe everything starts with knowing who you are. Many people try to determine their purpose in their lives, but they don't know who they are. And sometimes they take on the thoughts or the ideas of someone else, their parents, what's been influencing them and so forth, and really not come to decide what they really want. Because
who is Cynthia Lennox?
And it's really interesting that you asked that question, because Cynthia Lennox is constantly evolving. And everything that I do, I move from a foundation of pleasure. And it's a little interesting.
Yeah, you're telling me what you do. I'm asking you, who are you?
I know, Les, that I am a magnificent creative being, and I have the power to create. That is not just, those are not just words. That is my life. I set my mind to something. I set my vision on something. It's like when we're traveling. I get there before I get there. I get there in my mind before I arrive. So just the fact of knowing that I am a creative being, that alone sets the tone of my life.
You're more than just a creative being. I'm asking you, you give me some answers to some question, but not the answer totally to who Cynthia Lennox is. And I like this statement you just made, get there before you get there. That's powerful. Right. But there's some other elements and parts of your personality. And the reason I'm pressing you on that is that when we share, when we speak, people are asking three questions. Who are you? Why? Because we live in a world of make-believe now. Who are you?
Yes.
What do you have? And can I trust you? And we do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Right. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so when we talk about helping people to get to know who they are, part of the process is we have to answer that question too. So I'm coming back again. I'm circling back again. Who are you really?
Right. And to answer that question, it's almost difficult to articulate to someone else who I am. Knowing my ability to challenge myself.
Well, I want you to start like this. Let me help you out. I am a person who loves helping people. I'm a person that I love challenges. I'm a person that I'm willing to take chances in life. I'm a person that I've gone through some stuff, and as a result of the things that I've gone through, I've discovered some things about life. I'm a person that at this point in my life, I am committed to living a life that will outlive me. I'm a person that I'm not willing to stand on the sidelines and look at all the stuff that's going on now and be a witness. I believe if you're not a part of the problem, part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yes.
I'm a problem solver, and I help people to work through their stuff because I've gone through some stuff myself, and I bring years of experience with the tools and experiences, tried and proven methods that can work for people right now.
Yeah, I love to help other people. And when there's a challenge in my life, Les, I always look for this solution. That's the first thing that clicks in. What is it that we need to do to solve it? And so many people live life by default, and they don't realize that they can change that. I know folks that are waiting to retire. I said, no, you never retire. I mean, you could be 85, 95, you never retire. Because what I find is that when I have something before me, it gives me, it infuses energy, gusto, excitement. We have a vacation plan. We're always traveling, and I'm already there. I have these pictures of the places and things we're going to do. It really gives you purpose and brings excitement to your life. So I shared people, no, yeah, you could retire or leave your job, but have something else. Because if you don't, like my uncle, my uncle recently passed away, and I would call and say, how are you doing, uncle? He would say, just here waiting. Oh, that would be the saddest thing for me to hear. Yeah. And I would be like, waiting for what? But I didn't get into it. No, but he was serious. Just here waiting is like, waiting for what? And of course, we all know what, in my mind, I'm like, well, you'll never know when it happens.
Yes.